Hi, everyone. Welcome to our team call tonight. I'm Shannon Galladay, and we're so excited to have you here if you're watching live or watching the recording. This is our live Pure Results team call. We have a team of almost 700 coaches from all over the U.S. and Canada. So if you're watching live or watching the recording, we're so excited to have you here. So we have just a few announcements, and then we're going to turn it over. We have a leader of the week who is our fit coach of the week, who shares their story and shares some things that they've learned. And so we have Marie here, who's going to go ahead and take the call and give us some awesome training tonight. But first, just some announcements. So we have the Team Cup Challenge going, the Team Beachbody Cup Challenge. We're in full swing of that. And so basically we work in small teams of 5 coaches, and Beachbody gives away prizes. So this is so fun, and they do this every few months. So make sure to connect with your team, and if you need any help with that, if you're struggling or if you need help, let us know. We can help you come up with a game plan. So also the Diamond Dash, we have about 2 weeks to go, and then we are doing a Diamond and above leadership training. So you have to be Diamond or above to join, but we will be doing that towards the end of August with some higher level coaches that are 10-star and above. So it's going to be an awesome training for some leaders, and it's a leadership training. It's just a 2-week leadership training for Diamond and above. Next week on August 18th at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, we are going to be doing a Coach Opportunity webinar. So we have some people from the Diamond Dash who are going to be guest speakers on that webinar, and it's just going to be a short 30-minute, this is what coaching is all about webinar, so stay tuned for more details on that. And then the last announcement is tomorrow we are going to Beachbody's corporate office in Utah. So the main office is in LA, California, but there's an office in Provo, Utah, and we are going to take a tour and meet with one of the executives. He works with 6 to 15 stars coaches, and he's going to sit down with us, and we're going to meet for about 2 hours. So that's tomorrow from 10 to 12. Let us know if you want to join, if you need the details, but it's going to be awesome. So I'm so excited to introduce Marie, who is from Utah, and she's going to share her story and then some training, some things we learned at Super Saturday this past weekend. So welcome, Marie.
Hello. So I'm Marie. I've been a coach. I started as a discount coach back in January. My coach is Michelle. I am one of those customers that bugs all of us that I waited for 6 months before I purchased. Michelle followed up with me every single month, checked in on me, did a couple free challenges with her, and then finally, once I was done breastfeeding, I finally hit my point where I needed to do something. A little bit of backstory on that. My husband is an athletic trainer for the Utah Jazz. He travels a lot. He's out of town a lot. And I've got 4 kids, ages 9, 7, 4, and 1. And I was really overwhelmed having a husband in November, first month of the season. He was gone at least 50% of our first month as a new trainer. And it was really overwhelming for me. And I remember, I put a picture of it on Facebook. I remember sitting in front of my fridge, sobbing. I had hit my rock bottom. I was so depressed. My anxiety was through the roof, and I needed something. And I knew that exercise was always something that helped me cope, and it helped to give those feel-good endorphins. I know medication is great for some people, but for me, the side effects, I hated them. So I tried to avoid them at all costs. So after I was done breastfeeding, I remember it was the end of December. I was like, okay, Michelle, I'm ready to get started. Let's go. And I have never looked back. Beachbody has been one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I love, with the programs alone, I love what it's done for my life. I've done Weight Watchers. I've done calorie counting. I've done tons of stuff. And none of it's ever worked for me in the long term. But this, I feel, is a long-term thing. My husband does it with me, and so we have a healthy family, which is one thing I always wanted. I grew up with obese parents. I grew up in Utah. We visited Yellowstone, and that was probably the only national park I visited growing up because it was very hard for my parents to be active because their joints hurt all the time. I remember if we went to Disneyland or something, my dad was going to be ornery all day because he was in pain because his joints hurt. And so I always made a promise to myself that I would not be that mom or dad that couldn't stay active with my kids. So me and my husband are active. We loved it. We were able to go to the lake on Sunday. We were able to go paddle boarding with my kids, and we were able to go kayaking. So the lifestyle.
Woo-hoo! We need a cheer for that. That's awesome. Woo-hoo-hoo!
I just love, and I love that I'm teaching my kids how to eat good and how they can be healthy, because that's where it starts, is with us. It starts with us teaching our kids how to eat healthy. And I'm going to give one little tip. I know sometimes it's really hard to get those kids to eat those vegetables. My oldest is my pickiest. Hated broccoli forever, now one of his favorite vegetables. Constant reintroduction of healthy food works. It is a pain. They may hate you for it, but do it. In the end, they're going to love you for it. My husband hates vegetables. He eats vegetables now. Even as an adult, it has helped. He eats asparagus, which I don't know how that happened, but he does. So anyways, I'm all about having a healthy family and just being healthy. So that was my big motivation. So anyways, that's a little bit about me. Oh, and I'm also a nurse. I work in cancer. I am a oncology nurse. I've done that ever since I was a nurse. I've been a nurse for, crazy to think, 9 years. Time has flown by. And the one thing I really love about coaching is the same thing I love about nursing. I always wanted to make a difference. And so this totally taps into that part of me, of being able to help people, because I feel this obesity epidemic is really important for us to try to make an impact in. And not only that, it affects cancer. So anyways, now we'll get to talking about what we were going to talk about tonight. So a bunch of us, let's see who's on the call. So me and Shannon and a couple other of us from Utah went to Super Saturday down in American Fork. And we had elite coach Micah Folsom. She came down and gave us some great ideas. She was awesome to listen to. But one of the things that really stuck with me is she talked about how to set ourselves apart. I think a lot of us have a lot of friends. I think I have 2 friends that are also Beachbody coaches. And so sometimes it's difficult to set ourselves apart and to make ourselves look different and try to offer that value to our customers that we try to do so that they can change their life. So the first thing that she told us to do is you have to stay in phase 1. So all of us, almost all of us like me, we started in a challenge group. We started with the foundations of Beachbody, which is where we have a program, we have our Shakeology, and we have a diet plan. And we have to be perma challengers. We are always in a challenge group. We're always doing a workout program. And like Shannon says, I think it's really important to start at the beginning and then go to the end, because then you can really see the results. And I think we're able to offer our customers the real benefit of the program. I feel like I'm able to talk to them and be like, look, like for size, for instance, a lot of people, and I think we get this with Country Heat, a lot of people are like, that's not a workout. I'm not going to lose any weight. And I'm like, yes, you are. I have consistently, until this past month, because I'm reaching my bottom, I've consistently maintained a 5-pound weight loss each month. And that includes size. So, you know, and I think it's important for us when we do these programs and do the whole program, we can tell people, hey, I did the whole program and these were my results. This is what I liked, what I didn't like, and this is what you can expect. So anyways, so always be a challenger for life. The next thing she talked about, and this is something that I really connected with, is you have to have a story to tell. We all have stories as to what brought us here, what brought us to Beachbody, and what brought us to want to change our life. I can tell you some of my most successful posts on Facebook have been the ones where I put myself out there. It is the scariest thing to do. For me, talking about my depression and anxiety. That in general, society, it's hard to talk about mental health issues and putting myself out there, but people connect with that. And then I have people come up and talk to me, especially other moms that deal with postpartum depression. And they're like, hey, I've been there. I totally get what you're talking about. And then we're able to build those relationships with people, and it opens doors to maybe people that wouldn't talk to us before. Another post I've done, I've talked about nurses and how this part of coaching and nursing is something that I really like to do, and how I like being able to connect with people and making a difference. Those have probably been some of my most successful posts that I can remember off the top of my head. And it's all about making yourself vulnerable and putting yourself out there. And it's scary, scary, scary. But that's what people connect to. They don't connect to the fluff. They don't connect to the stuff that they see that everyone posts. They want to know you, and they want to know what your story is and what's different about you. And that's what's going to give them value and connect with you. Next she talked about is don't be a phaser. Lack of patience will kill your dreams. I think this has to go with the ups and the downs of the business. We all go through those phases where you're waiting till the last week and we have no Success Club points and we're like, oh, or we've just hit a bump in the road. Maybe something's happened in life. I know I've phased out. I'm in grad school right now. There's months where it's like I had to get schoolwork done and I just phased everything else out in my life. But it's so much harder to build the business back when we phase it out. So even if we're doing so during those times, I've created better balance on those weeks. Like this week has been really hard for me. I'm trying to get everything done. I make sure I never have had a day where I'm not doing my power hour. If anything, I get my power hour done and I get my personal development done. And I always do, for me, non-negotiables are always doing my workout and my Shakeology. Those always get done regardless of what's going on in my life because that's me time. But I always make sure I get my power of 3 and I always make sure I get my personal development. Between those two, if you're having those crazy weeks, we all have crazy life. If you get at least those 2, your business is going to sustain a lot better. And I am proof of that on those weeks I didn't do that is where my business has gone down and I've been a phaser, so to say. And then I've had to build back up. And so I really like what she said about that. Next, she said to add more value than you receive. Be someone that they want in your life. Be someone that they want to have in their life. So you want to, that's all about the adding value, being vulnerable, being real with people. On your posts and social media, it's all about being the real you. And that's what they're going to connect with. And then when you post something, like I've posted things and then I get these random personal messages and that's where I'm able to build those relationships with people. And that's what they're going to connect with. And it's about them and it's not about you is the important thing. You want to get to know them, what their struggles are, who they are as people. And then if they ask about you, you can add some in, but just remember it's about them. Next, she talks about relationships. So you want to, just like we were talking about before, be interested, not interesting. It's about them. So we want to play offense, not defense. So we always want to be the ones that are always talking to them and be intentional and proactive with our conversations. Next thing she talks about is when is the right time to invite someone. Timing is everything. I think we've all learned this. And sometimes when it's that end of the month, I know I've been there. It's the end of the month and we get really antsy, but I've pushed customers away that way because I get too antsy and I push too hard. So make sure that you're watching where your relationships are with your customers to make sure it's the right time and that they're ready. Because honestly, if they're not ready to make that change, they're going to be one of those discount coaches or one of those customers that comes and they're gone the next month. And so, and we want people that are going to stay here because that's what's really going to make a difference in their life if they're able to stay and be consistent and it's on and they're ready. So on our social media, we want to make sure the billboard matches behind the scenes. So this is also about being authentic and being vulnerable. We want to make sure what's on our billboard, which is our Facebook. So when they scroll through our Facebook feed, if we're friending people, we want them to be able to see who we are. They want us to be able to, they want to be able to tell that we're coaches. I know that's one thing that I've struggled with is putting that out there, but it's good. They want to know that I'm a coach, know that I'm with Beachbody, know that I'm a mom. And that's the other part of the balance that I've tried to get is I post a lot of Beachbody stuff or maybe a lot of workouts and that, but I got to post the part that I have kids because that's what people are going to connect to. Post the part that I'm a nurse. That's what people are going to connect to. So it's being a full rounded picture, not just one thing, not just exercise routines, not just Shakeology, not just this. We got to show them the full picture. Okay, so next we'll go to the non-negotiables that I talked about a little bit earlier. So the 4 vital behaviors, it's not for the business, it's for you. So make sure, like I used to poo-poo the personal development. I think every single person says this about personal development. They're like, whatever. But man, it truly does make a difference. It definitely changes your mindset and it puts you in the, I think it puts you in the right mindset for your business. And it also gives you the positivity that you need to be able to push forward your business. Because we all have those ups and downs. And I think the personal development has really been what's been able to push me forward and keep me positive. And like we said before, always be in a challenge group and always be a challenger. So that way you're always invested and engaged. Expand, meet new people, and build solid relationships. That's when our business is going to grow, is when we're building those solid relationships. Get to know people so that they can trust you. Success Club 5 is to maintain, and Success Club 10 is to grow. And then she says to go Emerald every month. So that means building 2 coaches each month. And then stay plugged into the mothership. So checking in with our Team Beachbody every month or every day, and making sure we know what's going on. And then her last slide, this is really funny. The unsexy secret sauce, consistency and patience. You can't skip the struggle. We've all been there. We all get in those lulls in the business where it's just, plugging through that power hour is sometimes really hard, but it's the persistence that's going to keep there. It's the same with life. We all go through struggles, but once we get out of that struggle, our business is usually stronger and we're usually stronger. So it's just trying to get through that part. It's hard sometimes though, I'll admit. So anyways, that's what she talked about. Is there anything you want to add, Shannon, to that part? Did I miss anything?
That was awesome. Thanks, Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so awesome. I think, you hit the points right on. Those were great points. I think the biggest thing I took away is, just be you. Like, don't try to be anyone else, and just people will connect with you when you're your real self and you're not trying to be this perfect person, and you're just consistently showing up and just really serving people. So I think that was the biggest thing. So great. Well, do we have any questions from anyone for Marie?
One quick minute. I'm going to, as a little add-on, my grad school right now, I just wrote a 20-page paper on obesity.
Oh, wow.
So I had to do it on a disease and the pharmaceutical, and one of my options was obesity. I was like, well, I'm a Beachbody coach. I should probably pick obesity because it'll help me in my business. But there's a couple tidbits I wanted to give you, a couple facts that maybe you can use. But the biggest thing that I've taught, at least to my nursing friends, it says that there are 3 things that you need to be successful. This is what the research shows. There are 3 things you need to be successful in a weight loss, any weight loss journey. And this is what I think makes Beachbody different than anything else you're going to get. 1, you need diet. 2nd, you need exercise. And the 3rd, which is the thing that Beachbody offers and what we as coaches offer, is behavioral support. When people are accountable and they have someone they can talk to, that is the gold in what makes patients being able to maintain their weight loss. When I read that, I was like, that was like a big light bulb moment for me, because I did Weight Watchers, but most people do Weight Watchers online and they don't get the emotional support unless they go and do the meetings, which most people don't do now. And almost every single workout I could think of, I was like, no one offers the behavioral change, and most doctors don't have time to do it. So that's where we can come in and we can make a huge difference. So if that's something that helps maybe some of your customers go over that edge, I know it helped one of my customers sign up. I was like, look, this is what we can offer, and this is what the research shows. That was one of my big light bulb moments when I was doing this paper. I was like, oh, so this is why Beachbody works, but it really does, is because we offer that support and that accountability. And then here's a thing that I learned. So the cost burden for someone with obesity, the cost burden is $3,976 a year. For someone that's a normal weight, it is $2,900. So that's just normal medical costs, and that's just with all the comorbidities that come on with, like diabetes, joint replacements, cardiovascular disease, any of that stuff. So, but the biggest thing that I wanted to tell you guys was about that behavioral, because like I said, when I read that, I was like, oh, so that's why this works. So anyways, those are just a couple tidbits if that helps you. So
thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing what the costs are and how much we're saving people by helping them. So
yeah,
amazing. Awesome. Do we have any questions for Marie? This has been a great call.
I have a question for you, Marie.
Yes.
Are you surprised?
Yes. This is my coach, by the way.
So my question for you was, you said that you hit like a certain point where you kind of like just dropped down and like you're waiting for something different. Sorry, I'm taking you Target shopping.
It's all good.
But anyways, like, what was it that made you decide that you wanted to go with me as your coach specifically? Like,
honestly, it was that you checked in with me every single month and you kept me, hey, I've got this. And then I put you off for 6 months. I was like, no, it's not the time. And I'm like, eh. But you put that investment and you showed me that you wanted me to succeed and that you were there for me. I mean, really, but we've been friends. I mean, we grew up together, but we hadn't really touched base in a long time. It was that, because I have another friend that's a Beachbody coach, but I stayed with you because you showed that interest and you were constantly checking up on me every single month and being like, hey, how's it going? Because part of my problem was I was breastfeeding, and every single time I'd work out, I'd get blocked milk ducts. So I couldn't exercise until I was done breastfeeding. And so that was part of my struggle that I was dealing with. And so Michelle was great that she checked in with me every single month. She involved me in her food challenges. She's like, hey, what are your goals for this week? I'll check in with you. I think one of them was like drinking enough water for the week or something like that. And she checked in with me during the week, and it was just little stuff like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, she'll coach me along and she'll make sure I kick butt.
Thanks. It's a good reminder to figure out what it is when I'm failing forward, what I need to change.
But like I said, I'm one of those annoying customers that she did that with me for 6 months. That was 6 months of her constantly being like checking in with me, making sure, you know, my health and fitness goals. And not only that, just checking in on me and seeing how I was doing. Like literally it was 6 months. It was a long time. And I'm sorry I did that to you.
It's okay. I forgive you now.
That's awesome. I'm glad you shared that. I have a question for you too, Marie. So you started as a discount coach. So what was the turning point that made you say, okay, I want to do this as a business?
So part of it was Michelle. She would check in after I did pretty good. I started a 21-day fix. I lost, I want to say 6 pounds and 5 inches in my first month. And she's like, hey, do you want to do this coaching? I'm like, no, because I just started grad school. And so I was like, no, I can't do it. I got too much going on. And then another month went by. And then I think she added, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I started seeing the success other people had. And she was talking about it. I was like, well, maybe I can do this. Because if I'm being honest, the reason that I started grad school was I needed something for me. And I started grad school so I could get a work at home job because I only work 1 day a week out of the home. It's enough so I can keep my nursing license, and it gives me my sanity to get out of the house 1 day a week. But I started grad school originally was so I could be a work at home mom and I could teach online because I didn't like the jobs that were available for me as a bachelor degree nurse. And so I was like, well, I'll go get my master's so that way I can do it. And then I was like, well, maybe this can be another vehicle. And I was like, and it's, yeah. Because honestly, if I would have thought about this before I started grad school, I probably wouldn't be in grad school right now, to be honest. But but that was probably the biggest thing, as I started seeing the possibilities for it for me. And like I said, that's why I started going back to school. So I thought, hey, why not me? Basically.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love your story. That's so awesome. Great. Any other questions for Marie? Any other questions or comments? This was an amazing call. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and take our picture. We take a picture every time. So let me see if I can do it on this computer. Okay, there we go. Okay, ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll do one more just to make sure we got it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Well, you're amazing, Marie. Congratulations on your first big team call. You're so amazing. So thanks so much. Yes, you did. Oh, I forgot to ask you. So the last question we always ask at the end is, so where do you see your future in 5 years? The National Wake Up Call, they always ask that. So what's your future in 5 years?
I was thinking about this when I was driving home I had a meeting at work today. But I want to be debt-free. At least I want to have all my student loans paid off. That's a big goal of mine. I want to have all my student loans and my master's degree paid off. And I want to be traveling with my family and having fun. Honestly, I just want to live a fun, active life with my kids and I guess have the freedom of time more than anything. So
Awesome. I love that. Well, you're on your way. So great job, Marie. Awesome. Well, thanks again, everyone. It's been an amazing call. We hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.